It's the day Taylor Swift fans have been waiting for, which is the release of their movie version of her record-breaking Eras Tour concert. A week before its release, advanced ticket sales around the world have already hit $100 million, a sign of just how much of an economic and cultural force she has become. June Wei Sum reports.
You know you're a cultural icon when the White House national security spokesman mentions you in a briefing.
I don't know. Wasn't sure if you knew Taylor Swift. I know. All right.
Apparently she's dating a football player.
Yes.
Another sign, by turning up at a football game where said player, Travis Kelce, was on the field, Swift got almost 29.5 million viewers to tune in, making it the second most watched U.S. TV show on a Sunday since the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce jersey sales spiked almost 400%, and tickets for his team, the Kansas City Chiefs, soared.
Taylor Swift and her budding relationship is a great opportunity for the NFL to bring in not only a new demographic of younger women who may have felt excluded from the game before, and also a new psychographic of people who are just looking for fun and entertainment.
Those young women and plenty of others spent big on the summer's two biggest concert tours: fellow powerhouse Beyonce's Renaissance Tour and Swift's ongoing Eras Tour. How big? Well, Beyonce's tour ended up with $500 million in ticket sales, and projections show Swift is on track to double that.
There's nothing I can say that would make it seem like I can't say it with words, you know, it's crazy. It's like an unreal experience, you know?
Yeah, it saying feel real.
Yeah.
The saying, don't ever meet your heroes, it doesn't apply to Taylor
at all. No,
she's awesome. Just she's so amazing.
She's so good.
She's a really big role model.
Both Swift and Beyonce are releasing concert tour films, possibly shaking up how the movie industry works as well.
I really do think this is a new way of thinking for the industry, and especially once we see just how successful Taylor can be, how successful Beyonce can be, this is going to give theaters as well as movie studios more reason to take more risks. It can be a mixture of content. You know, we can have the smaller films out there, we can have these big specialty event releases.
Need any more evidence of the two musicians' influence? Well, they're getting their own press corps. America's largest newspaper chain, Gannett, is hiring 2 reporters, one each for each star, to capture their cultural and economic influence. Junwei Sum, CGTN.
According to surveys by YouGov, both Taylor Swift and Beyonce are popular among about half of all U.S. adults. Millennials make up around 60% of the fan base for Swift and Beyonce, though Swift has a slightly larger base among Gen X's at 51% compared to Beyonce's 43%. Millennials are, if you're counting, born between the ages of 1981 and 96. Gen Z is 97 to 2012, and their spending habits are different. According to the World Economic Forum, 2 groups spend between 4% and 5% on entertainment, but the Finder's Consumer Confidence Indexes Gen Zs in America save a lot more than millennials, likely because they have less financial responsibilities. For a deeper dive into the power artists such as Beyonce and Taylor Swift have on the spending habits, joining us is Tom Ara, the Global and U.S. co-chair of Media, Sports, and Entertainment at DLA Piper. Tom, good to see you. I mean, I guess no one should be surprised of all these stats that we're throwing out there. If you've met Swifties, you've had daughters or other people who've had daughters, and you hear them talk about where they spend their money, it's no surprise they like experiences, they like entertainment, and specifically, they like things they can take pictures of to show their friends, right?
That's correct. Well, you know, experiences are the cornerstone of what the media and entertainment business has turned into. And while it was a cruel summer for the box office in general, other than the Barbenheimer phenomenon, the box office looks like it's going to have a big turnaround this weekend, and when Beyonce launches her concert special in theaters for what will be a tremendous box office result, I'm sure.
So I know we're going to compare the 2 groups. The the Gen Zs and the Xs, and 97, 96 is the cutoff. If my math is correct, that's about what, 25, 26 years old. So obviously people who are older are gonna have different spending patterns than people who are younger. But entertain me here for a moment. How are their entertainment purchases, I guess, different after the age of, say, 25 or 26 or 27?
Well, less impulsive is probably one differentiation, but I think the difference also lies in where this generation gets its inspiration to participate in these experiences. A lot of that is coming from social media. Social media is playing a tremendous role in how this generation is making purchasing decisions. It does become a herd mentality and an excitement that is built on these amazing social platforms.
And then you have the elderly, the Gen X's, 1965 to 1980. I'm joking. They're not elderly, but compared to the millennials, they are. Do they spend this much money on entertainment? Because that's my generation, and I talk to friends, and the answer that I empirically have is no. What's your answer?
Well, the generational spending on entertainment, I think, varies not necessarily by, of course, there are differences in dollars, but certain generations probably find convenience in watching content in the comfort of their own home for a variety of reasons, mobility and others. But I think, the spending around things like content consumption has increased in my view, particularly because of the advent of streaming and the availability of content in more avenues. So I do think that the younger generation is spending most of their disposable income, or maybe the income of their parents that has been given to them, on entertainment. I still do see that there is some significant spending happening even at the other generational levels.
65%, nearly 2/3 of all Americans have between 0 and maybe 3 to 4 months of savings in the bank. If I lose my job tomorrow, I have about 4 months of savings left. That's not a good sign. The majority of these individuals who don't have the savings are actually in the younger group, right? Because as you get older, you do get more nervous. Do you think that they don't want to save, or they don't have the propensity to save, or they don't feel like they need to save?
Well, I think there is a mentality of living in the moment right now. And I think a lot of that was driven by the pandemic. We've seen a tremendous surge in live event and concert going. It's actually at levels it's never been at before. And I think some of that, some people will describe it as kind of revenge spending or revenge travel and things to that effect. A lot of it, I think, is that it's driven by the idea that, you have this moment and you need to live it, and the tomorrow brings whatever, it may bring. And I think that spending is driven by that. I'm not sure it's necessarily a lack of desire to save. I think it's a lot having to do with that desire to live in the moment.
You are the co-chair of the Media, Sports, and Entertainment, which is pretty much the 3 areas that these groups want to spend money on. When your clients come to you and they have issues or challenges when it comes to this generation, what are the similarities of challenges that you hear?
Well, a lot of the challenges right now, as you know, and we've talked about this, are the labor strife we're dealing with in Hollywood. Interesting thing about Taylor's Eras Tour film is that she was able to secure a waiver from the Screen Actors Guild that covers the performers, including performers like her doing specials and feature film releases of her specials. She was able to secure a waiver so that she could release this picture theatrically and promote it. And so that is one of the big challenges the box office has had the past few months. Major films have been released without the support of the talent to promote them because of the strike that is going on currently. And I think in her case, she's been able to promote it on social and many other avenues because she was able to secure this waiver from the Guild. And that is one challenge I hear every day from my clients that we're trying to navigate, with the hope that the strike will come to an end imminently and box office can go back to the levels it was before with support of the talent.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine both Taylor or Beyonce getting more popular, but I guess there is a way because there's no other new things to watch. That's it. All right.
That's right. You can't shake it off.
Yeah.
Not one you shake off.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend, Tom.